Hello, broadcasters. Welcome to episode 169 of the StreamYard Town Hall. My name is Geige, and I'm here with Dan, of course. Dan, how's it going?
Doing good. It's good to have you back on here.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back. Sounds like things went well with Martin, so it was great to have him drop in, but happy to be back. For anyone new here, Dan and I are the founders of StreamYard, and we do these town halls every single Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific, and we do them for a few reasons. One is to stay in tune with all of you, go through the same flow that you guys do with your own shows. Two is to answer any of your questions. So if there's anything you'd like us to touch on tonight, feel free to leave it in the chat. We'll do our best to get to all of them. We love discussing your topics and questions, so please do. And then I always mention the three pillars of StreamYard, which are ease of use, stability, and professional streams. So if you're about those three things, StreamYard is the tool for you. I see people already popping in from all over the world. I think I saw Australia and Ohio and Ireland. Very cool. Before I forget, we have lots of awesome content these days. So we've got the StreamYard Spotlight, second Thursday of every month at 8 p.m. Eastern, which is a show with Dana and Kelsey where they feature folks like you in the community and how they're having success with live streaming. So if you're looking for inspiration, definitely check that out. And if you're interested in being featured, just email contact@streamyard.com and Dana can coordinate with you on getting featured there. We have channel reviews with Dee and Daniel the second Saturday of every month. Really great show if you're looking to grow on YouTube, and not just for live streaming, just YouTube content in general. They give really great actionable feedback by running through actual channels and talk about things like how often to post, how to title your videos, and all kinds of awesome stuff for that. We have Enhancer live streaming the last Tuesday of the month with Nick Nimmin. Nick is definitely a pro in streaming and video production and in general, so definitely check that out for specific live streaming tips. And then we have live stream reviews the first and third Saturday at noon PST, which is a show with Christian and Charles. It's a lot of fun. They run through different live shows and give feedback on those. And one thing we've been doing for quite a few weeks now is the fun fact. So it's not just for us, it's also for us to get to know a little bit more about you. So feel free to answer it yourselves. And the one we had for this week was favorite type of ride at theme parks. What's your favorite type of ride, Dan?
Phil, I think roller coasters is by far the biggest one for me. At least I think of my top 5 rides of all time, they'd all be roller coasters. So definitely roller coasters. How about you?
Cool. Roller coasters are definitely fun. I was a bigger fan of theme parks when I was younger. Now these days I feel like I get pretty sick. So today, yeah. I'd say when I was a kid it was probably any kind of roller coaster, and today it's probably anything that doesn't spin. So the ones that just go up, the ones that go up and just drop, I'm a pretty big fan of because there's no spinning.
Cool. Yeah.
All right.
Like the teacup, that kind of stuff.
That is the absolute worst one for me, at least. All right. We had some good questions here. Tim says, what are the chances of getting virtual background on the second camera? Any thoughts on that one, Dan?
Interesting. It's definitely possible. Obviously, we don't have it now. I would be curious, just a question for you. Do you have, so obviously you have 2 cameras right now. Is one of them already have a virtual camera on? And then you basically want to have virtual camera on both? You want to use virtual backgrounds on both cameras, or could you actually switch it where like really you only need it on one? So you could make, your secondary camera, your first camera, turn on virtual backgrounds, and then, your other camera, you don't actually need it. So that would be your secondary. Just wondering if you can switch those. Obviously, if you need it on both, that will not work. So if you can maybe let me know that.
Cool. Adam says, if I add a team member to my account and they accept the invite from their email address that I sent it to, does it prompt them to create an account in order to join the team with their email address?
Yes. Yeah. So if you send it to someone, let's say part of your company or a friend of yours, and they do not have an account, they will be prompted to create an account, but they'll go directly into your team. So it won't go to they'll basically end up with kind of two teams, right? Like their own personal team that's separate, and then they'll be part of your team, but they'll be taken to your team if they signed up from an invite from you.
Cool. One thing you could do, Adam, that will give you a good sense of the flow is just like if you have a second email or a test email account, just invite yourself. It'll give you a good sense of how it works.
Yep.
All right. What else do we have here? Yes, Tim. No, it's pretty late for folks in the UK. Appreciate you still tuning in. And then also says, would it be possible to have the countdown timer set to 2 minutes or editable so we can set it ourselves? So as you probably know, Tim, there's just the preloaded one we have now, but it's definitely something we're open to. making it more flexible where you can actually adjust it in different ways, whether it's not just the time, but also things like the color and whatnot. Certainly something we're open to.
Yep.
Of course, Sabrina, I appreciate you hanging out with us. G23 says, when is the admin going to be able to comment as themselves instead of the channel? Do you have any thoughts on that one, Dan?
Got it. So this would be another admin on the team wants to comment as themselves. That I'm not sure, but still something we are interested in.
All right. We did there's lots of more questions, so we'll get those in a second, but I want to make sure we hit on one of the updates we had for today, which I think it's come up quite a few times, so I think people will be pretty excited about it. And that is, we now actually have, I don't know the best way to phrase it, but more I guess like information about where you are in your video clips and countdowns. And then Dan, you actually have a video walking through how it works. You want to maybe play the video or talk about how it works?
Yeah, so I would actually say the use case for countdowns is not as useful because it's typically, not always, but it's usually obvious when it's going to end. Obviously, that's not the case with something like our countdown, though, where there's a countdown and then there's actually a second part to the clip. But for any video clip you're playing, you often, and especially your guests, don't necessarily know when it's going to end. So let's say you play a 3-minute clip. Your guest might be sitting there for 3 minutes, just kind of, ready, perfect posture, kind of waiting for it to end so that they're not like picking their nose or something when the clip suddenly goes away. So we always want to have some kind of timer displayed to both you and your guests so that they're aware when this clip is actually going to end. So I'll just play a video of what this looks like. And you can see, so there's 2 things to look for here. One of them is you'll see a bar at the bottom of the video. So this is actually it's a sample of me playing a video clip, but the video clip is one from actually our first town hall. But you'll see a bar going across the bottom. That's just how far along you are in the video. And then there's also on the far right in the brand section, there's a timer that actually shows you how many seconds are left. So let's just play this.
Cool. Yeah, it's definitely something I'll appreciate as a guest on certain shows when you don't know, when you didn't upload it and you don't know the length of it. But yeah, hopefully folks are excited for that. If you guys have any questions about it, let us know, or anything else that you think would make it even easier to use. Like if you have any feedback on how we went about setting that up. And then along the line of just like making things easier for guests in general, is there anything else similar to that when it comes to like, your guests not knowing the length of video? Is there anything else in the studio that's similar to that where we could add some sort of simple visual indicator or other ways to just make things easier for your guests? Let us know.
Yep.
And that's not actually live yet, Dan. Maybe you already mentioned it.
So, sometime this week, that'll come out.
Cool. So stay tuned for that. All right. What else did we have here? Natasha says, how do we make the videos download faster? So the primary limitation on that, Natasha, is going to be the speed of your internet connection. So unfortunately, the only real way to improve it would be to upgrade the down speed of your internet connection. If you have a super fast down speed, I believe they download quite fast, right, Dan?
Should be fast, yeah. Obviously, I assume you're talking about the recordings. They can be pretty big if you're going live for hours. Many gigabytes, so naturally it can take quite a while. Audio will be faster if you just need audio, but I assume you need the video as well. We do have some processing on the back end where when the video finishes, we'll take a little while to prepare it. That should be pretty quick. We're always trying to make that a bit faster, but if your internet is slow, the actual download will take a lot longer than that part. So it really is often an internet speed thing. But fortunately, speeds are getting a lot faster nowadays. So you can get fiber with a gigabit per second download sometimes, or at least like a few hundred megabits per second. That helps.
Cool. Sounds like Dave had success with the giveaway tool. Awesome, Dave. Happy to hear that.
Very cool.
Dan says, can they add the ability to stop defaulting to a view of both hosts when someone shuts off their camera and then turns it back on? They automatically jump into the stream. It's tough when you stream live. If I'm understanding the question correctly, I think there's a setting that you can use to control that. Is that right, Dan?
Yeah, I'm just thinking of what kind of setting you might have on right now. So usually, if I was to turn my camera off. I don't move or anything unless you have the audio avatar setting off, in which case I will be hidden. And then if I turn my camera on, I will suddenly come back on screen. So maybe you want to turn the audio avatar setting back on if you do have it off. Otherwise, it's going to shift everything when they turn it on. I'm not sure if that answers it for you, but maybe if you can give us a bit more context there. Like, do you have that audio avatar setting on or off? Any other information, maybe that would be useful.
Cool. Let us know. All right. Sounds like John would want cameras with different virtual backgrounds. Good to know. Thanks, John.
Cool. Got
it. Someone over at LinkedIn says, please consider giving team members per broadcast and destination level permissions rather than full or limited control to the entire account. We are working on more advanced types of permissions, so stay tuned on that. Todd says, does the viewer see the countdown on the videos? So no, just you and your guests. So it's meant to be.
Oh, the viewer. Sorry. Yeah, that's right. Guests see it. Viewers do not.
So the output of the stream, no one has any idea in terms of like how much of the countdown is left, which I assume, other than the fact that if it's a countdown, it shows the countdown. But the visual indicators and whatnot are not on the video.
Yep.
Gavino is looking for larger GIF sizes. Definitely something we're open to, Gavino, that or maybe more flexibility in the types of formats as well beyond GIFs are also things we're exploring.
Yep.
Awesome, Charles. Glad you're a fan of it. Gleber says, how about a chronometer in the lives? It would be a good option to control the time that each guest speaks. Do you have any thoughts on that one, Dan?
I'm not sure what a chronometer is.
It's just a timer.
Oh, okay.
I'm guessing chrono time. I think it's a timer.
It'd be a good option to control the time that each guest speaks. So it's like Dan has 1 minute, and then it hides itself. And then, okay, now Geige has 1 minute. Is that kind of what you're thinking?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, open to something like that. I'd be curious if anyone else has a kind of a similar need there. But yeah, probably very good for keeping like a super regimented show. I'd be curious actually how you handle it now as well. Like, are you doing something for it now? Is it just nothing for it now? Like, are you manually timing things? Just putting up a flag every time someone runs out of time.
Cool. Let us know. One thing we also wanted to ask about for future streams was last time, obviously, I was out of town and Martin from the engineering team hung out with you guys. Curious if you enjoyed that and if you would like to meet other members of the team. And if so, which types of team members? Like, are you most interested in talking to like the engineering team, design team, product team, marketing team, sales team? Let us know. Would be curious.
Cool. Yeah, and big shout out to Martin. That was awesome. And he did that on pretty short notice as well, which was cool.
Yes, absolutely. All right. What else do we have here? Jim says, any plans or thoughts to add a feature where you could send a special link that would auto add a guest automatically? It's an interesting thought, Jim. I'd be curious the main reason why you want that. Like, it's certainly something we could add. Is it the type of thing where it's just you want to make things as seamless as possible, where you don't even have to think about clicking them? Let us know. The main reason why we never figured we would add something like that is just usually maybe you want to make an intro and then add them. Like we never really thought that you'd want someone to immediately pop on screen, but maybe there's a use case we're not thinking of. So let us know.
Yeah, it really depends what you're doing, but the one potential thing and what kind of helps with this at least is that we always call it the doorbell. It's the setting. It says ding when guests enter, I believe, in the guest tab of your settings. That's probably the closest you can get to this now. So that just notifies you whenever somebody joins the studio and you can quickly add them. And, the use case there is if you're in a separate tab or you're doing something else, you might not notice someone joins. And I imagine maybe you want this feature for kind of a similar reason to that. So potentially that will help. I don't know for sure. It really depends what you're doing, but it might be an option.
Cool. Barb says, nice to see you here, Barb. Would be nice if we could pause recordings on those long streams, resulting in multiple shorter recorded files. So that's an interesting one. So
cool.
In terms of just pausing and restarting for record-only broadcasts, that one definitely comes up frequently, and we're exploring making StreamYard easier for recording in general. This one sounds interesting and maybe slightly different. I'm curious if correct me if I'm misinterpreting it, Barb, but it almost sounds like, are you looking for a way to essentially not stop the stream, obviously in the middle of a live stream, but essentially tag it where it's easy after the fact to take out clips from the live stream that you've marked? I'd be curious. Let us know. Is that how you interpret it, Dan?
Yeah, sort of. Some kind of like you're live the whole time, but you're able to flag when to cut the recording in advance. So 5 minutes in, like, okay, we're done the intro. Let's cut it. That'll be a separate one, and I only really want to download the middle part.
Cool. Tim says, I have good speed, and it only takes a few minutes to download. Glad to hear that, Tim. One thing that will definitely affect it is like how long the live streaming is, right? So if you do, a 1 hour stream versus a 2 hour stream, 2 hour stream is going to take twice as long. All right. What else did we have? Packer Dude says, for some reason, my admin's not able to write in the chat during our shows. She's able to post in the private chat. Any idea why this may be? So that's actually expected, right, Dan?
No, I think they should be able to write in the chat. Admin should be able to, I believe.
Like as the channel itself?
Yes, sorry. Depends if that's what you mean. Are you saying they can't write at all in the chat, or when they post, they kind of end up posting as whoever created the stream, which in this case is probably your account or your company account or something like that? Maybe let us know. Because they should be able to post, but it will post as whoever, like it'll post as the destination account, essentially.
Cool. So yeah, let us know, Packer Dude. And then also we have live chat 24/7, StreamYard.com/contact. They can walk through all the details if there's something else happening that we're not aware of. Okay. Other thing we want to ask you all tonight was about the education industry showcase, which was on, I think it was the 31st. Curious how it went, and if you'd like more showcases in the sort of education field, and yeah, let us know. All right. What else did we have here? Sounds like quite a few folks want larger gifts. Good to know. Beauty Bubble's a fan of Martin. Awesome.
Cool.
Sounds like other folks were reemphasizing he needs a raise. Good to know.
I did enjoy that part of the stream.
Raymond says, can we please get the ability to adjust layouts and placement, like the new press conference layout being switched to the left?
The new press conference layout.
Maybe that's
the news, or I believe that's what you usually call it, the news layout. Putting the screen on the other side. Interesting. So maybe we'll just add more options in general. We would like to add a lot more customization around layouts, as long as we can do it in a way where the product's still super easy to use. Definitely something we're exploring.
Cool. Sounds like Zev would like to see more team members. Good to know.
Cool.
April says, I had a LinkedIn privacy settings issue that I couldn't figure out the other day, and someone from the live chat went above and beyond to help me resolve it. Awesome, April. Happy to hear that.
Cool.
Sounds like Agent Bay wants to see more from the design and marketing team. Cool. Maybe in a couple of weeks we'll have someone like Noah on. That'll be fun. He's from design.
Yep. Yeah, I'd love to kind of cycle through a whole bunch of the employees, or at least anyone who's up for it, I should say. It's a cool experience.
Todd says, ever consider having a personal link to your stream, meaning the same link for each brand broadcast?
Yeah, like a permanent link.
Oh, I see, like a recurring one. So it's not, you don't have to send out a new one each time.
I assume that's what he means. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to cover that one, Dan?
So we've definitely considered it. For us, everything, as you probably know, is it's a trade-off between keeping the product as simple as physically possible and trying not to add too many things. So anything that can kind of add bloat or make it a little harder to use, we're very careful to add. So it's one of those things where if it was going to provide a lot of value and a lot of people want it, we're definitely open to it. But definitely not a guaranteed yes, we're going to add that. I get the need though. I think I do. Like if you have the same person on every single week and they're not part of your team, like that's another thing we're really hoping teams would help with. So for example, Geige can add me as a co-host or an admin, and then I can just enter the studio. He doesn't even need to send me the link now. So that solves at least part of it. But if you do have someone that's not part of your team, that's not a co-host or anything, but you want them on every week, that's where I do kind of get it. But yeah, also curious if your use case is maybe even different than what I said. Let me know.
Cool. All right, we have quite a few more here. Thanks for the clarification, Barb. Sounds like it is indeed during the live broadcast. Yeah, I think that's a really cool idea to be able to know which clips were exciting and when someone said something interesting, being able to tag that. Tony says, hello, I had a question. A lot of the time, record something and then publish it later, but there's no option for a thumbnail. Can I go back and add the thumbnail later?
Interesting. There's no option for a thumbnail. I'd be curious where you're publishing it. Like you're uploading it to YouTube or something? You record something, download it, upload it to YouTube, and you don't have a thumbnail?
Yeah, let us know, Tony, or maybe in the video, if you mean the video library section in StreamYard itself, which we don't have thumbnails yet.
Not yet.
There, right, Dan. But that
if you're talking about embedding, we don't have thumbnails yet, but it'll come soon.
So yeah, let us know, Tony. Dave says, are you able to go back and forth between plans? Yep, absolutely, Dave. You can switch to any plan at any time and go back, no problem. And you'll be credited. So like if you go from pro to basic, you won't lose money. You'll have that credit on your account. Fatoy says, guys, you need to make StreamYard work on Firefox the same as Chrome. One example, you can't share video files while using StreamYard on Firefox. Appreciate the feedback, Fatoy. So we would certainly like to, and we'll do our best to support each feature. The only reason it doesn't is there are some different limitations when it comes to each individual browser. But appreciate the feedback.
Yeah, we're totally with you. I'd absolutely love to make it like that.
All right. Should we go ahead and start queuing up the giveaway for tonight, Dan?
We shall.
All right. For anyone new here, we've been doing these giveaways every single Sunday. If you type in hashtag the yard, you'll be eligible to win. We'll give a minute or so here to get in your entries. And tonight we'll be giving away a StreamYard sweater. We'll give the cooler, updated version. This is the old sweater, and that pillow that Dan has in the background.
Cool.
All right. Sounds like some folks are interested in having more support for calendars and things like Calendly. Definitely something we're open to. I think it makes a lot of sense to have an integration with things like Calendly and calendars in general. Sounds like Agent Bay was a fan of the education showcase. Good to know.
Cool.
Dan says, also, we'll be able to upload our own music soon. For loops, we make copyright-free custom music. That is coming. Any additional thoughts on that one, Dan?
I don't think so. Yeah, just that it's definitely something we're thinking about already.
Cool. Should we give people? Is it still going up? I haven't been paying attention.
Might get a couple more, but it's probably pretty close here. I think we're good to go.
All right. Good luck, everyone.
Hoodie and a pillow, correct?
Hoodie and a pillow.
Cool. Good luck, everyone.
The Quest of Oak Island. Congrats. Thanks so much for tuning in. I think you've been here for a while, so it's cool to see you win. If you email contact@streamyard.com, our team can coordinate with you on your address and size for the sweatshirt. And yeah, congrats.
Surprised you didn't try to pronounce the first 4 digits there.
Quite. All right. We had quite a few other interesting questions here. And one of those was, are there any plans to develop some kind of polling feature? Thanks. So support for polls and Q&A will be coming to the Hopin integration for events. And we are open to expanding it to other types of destinations as well, or maybe something that it's actually something I'd be curious for you, Ruben, and other folks watching is, would you prefer a poll feature that leveraged the existing functionality within the the platforms. Like I think they still have it. They might have gotten rid of it. Facebook Live, for example, has a built-in polling feature. YouTube used to have one, but I think they actually. Do you happen to know if it still exists, Dan?
I'm not sure if it's still there or not.
I have to double check. But let us know if you're more interested in integrations with the platform polling features, or if you'd like something that sort of lived outside of the platforms, where essentially you'd share a link and people would answer it, and then you would actually sort of own the results of the poll yourself. It would have the sort of information across, from everyone who answered it, rather than it being part of the social platform. Let us know. All right. Fatoy says, can you make IP addresses hidden while a guest on StreamYard? So if you mean, people having access to your IP address, no one watching the stream will be able to see your personal IP address. And even the host, if you're a guest in the stream, as far as I know, they should not be able to see the IP address. That's so right. StreamYard is not peer-to-peer. Everything is sort of proxied. So you should be good to go, Fatoy. Robert says, love the hotkeys. Keep them coming. Awesome, Robert. Happy to hear that.
Cool.
Diego says, any chance of moving that show name switch over into banners rather than in the brand? So,
like toggle display names. So we actually added a hotkey for that last week. So maybe that will work for you. So if you go into the hotkey settings, you should be able to add, Shift D, I think is what I have for it, to just toggle those on and off. And then you can just stay in the banners tab the whole time and just Shift D, or make it just D or something even simpler. And just hit that, it'll toggle it on and off. Hopefully that works for you.
Hey, Elizabeth, glad you enjoyed the conference, and super cool to see you here. It's been a while. I think it's almost like 2.5 years ago or something like that when we first chatted. So nice to have you here. What else did we have? We have time for maybe one or two more questions. Just got to sort through the hashtag, the yards. RLCC says, is it possible to have a private chat with some people? For example, in our case, people asking for prayer, etc.
Would this be people on StreamYard?
Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Dan.
I should say, guests or viewers. If it's guests, there's probably something we can do, as long as we can make it really easy to use. With viewers, that's going to be trickier because they are on the platforms. I assume you're talking about guests, but let us know.
Cool. Yeah, we'll go back through and find your follow-up RLCC. This was episode 169 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us. We'll see you next week at the same time.
Cool. See you next week, everyone.